my channel. So today I'm going to be doing a book summary and review with spoilers. So if you don't want to hear spoilers, just click off this video of the books I've read in 2024. So let's get on to the video. Okay, so I was in a big book slump for 3 months and I just didn't want to, I tried to open a book, I just couldn't read it at all. But I kept seeing this book on my For You page on TikTok, on the book talk. So I kept seeing loads of fan art on there. We've opened it to page 1 and I read up to, I think it was like 20 chapters, and I was in love. I was literally not even a quarter away from the book and I was in love with the book straight away. This book is a fantasy book. It is, I would say it's maybe like adult teen based. I wouldn't recommend it for any kids, but this is literally my top book in 2024. This is my favourite read. So this book is about a 20-year-old girl called Violet Sorrengail, and she's forced by her mother who is like the commanding general, to go into the Dragon Quadrant. So it's like a war college, and her dream was to always be like a scribe, but obviously that dream was ruined because she had to go to the war college in, I don't know if I'm saying this right, but I think it's like Bath, I think. And she had no idea when she was going into there, she had no idea what to do. She just was into books, writing. She had nothing, she literally knew nothing at all about dragons and what to do, what they're doing. And some just don't make it back out, they die. So obviously this was scary for Violet because she had no idea what to do. She was like brand new to this, but she was just forced into it. Fragile girl, the smallest one, because like she was tiny, she was like 4'11". Everyone just thought different of her, like they thought, oh, she won't get through, she'll die straight away. And obviously she made it through and everyone was shocked about it. So when she had to cross a pet, I think that's what it's called, she met this man who was called Exciting Ryerson. So her family, who are the Sorrengails, are enemies to the Ryersons. So going into there, he's like 27. So going into there, she like, there's natural attraction there, but obviously they couldn't date because they are two rival families. One of my top reads. I can't wait until Ink Storms comes out this month, the 21st. I'm literally waiting, it's pre-ordered and I can't wait to read the next book. So the ending to this was, it was shocking, but I saw it coming like straight away. So him telling me her brother is still alive. When I read the last pages, I was like, how is he still alive? And he's it's like a medic or something, I can't remember what the actual term of it is, but yeah, so I was shocked about that. And Liam, I couldn't believe he died, like he died for Violet. I was literally crying in my bed. It was so bad. Like I loved Liam because of the friendship was like there, and obviously the friendship with Exciting as well. And I was literally in tears. I was like, this can't be happening. But yeah, so this is a fantasy romance. I don't know if it's like fantasy and then romance at the same time, but it has got a lot of romance in it. This 5 out of 5, one of my favourite reads so far last year. Okay. I Blame by Rebecca Yarros. This is the second book to the Fourth Wing. Obviously this is hardcover, this is paperback, and it is so much thicker than the Fourth Wing. It was very complicated, but it was amazing at the same time. So we got into the first page, we are finding out that Brennan is still alive. He's a medic, he helped cure Violet, and then they've got to keep this massive secret about him being alive because obviously they can't say anything to their mom and their sister. And then obviously there's venoms in there, so they've got to keep that massive secret as well. It's really hard to remember what's actually in this. And then the end, Exciting. I was crying in my bed when Exciting turned venom. I was just like, no. And the back says the first year is when some of us lose our lives, and the second year is when the rest of us lose our humanity. Quite exciting. We know why now. But like, it's just like a massive cliffhanger at the end. Like, it just makes you want to read more. So that's why I'm so excited for the next book to come out. I'm like, I can't wait. The art is amazing in here though. Look at that. It is absolutely amazing. Yeah, so I'm going to rate this a 5 out of 5 again. Like, okay, so the next book is Twisted Love. So the problem with these books is the cover, as you can see, the cover like discolours. I don't know why, but it does. And this was in the sun as well when I was on holiday, so I don't know why it's discoloured. Okay, so this book is Enemies to Lovers. I love this series. It's really good, but I think the books are too long when it gets to the end, like Twisted Lies and stuff. I feel like this was a good starter. It's about a cold-hearted man, and his heart is driven by vagans and stuff. And when he's forced to look after his best mate's little sister, that's when stuff starts to like change. This book, I read this in the summer, and I can't remember much about it. It's not really a book. I did enjoy it, but look, what I can think of, I did enjoy it, but it's not really a book I remembered, which is a bit bad. But the plot twist at the end, like I remember that, how Alex's uncle killed his father, but Alex's uncle was looking after him at the time. Like, I remember reading this and I was about to chuck the book across the room. The series is really, really good, and I did enjoy it by Annie Haig. It was a really good book. Okay, so the next book is, I don't think you can even see it, Twisted Games. You see the cover is discoloured, blurb's still there, and this was a really good book, but it wasn't as good as the first one. It's about a strong-willed girl called Bridget, and she follows all the rules with royalty. Bridget dreams of like freedom. She wants her own life. She wants her love life to just be normal. She doesn't want to date anyone who's royal. She just wants to live a normal life, and she just can't, because obviously she's a princess. She falls in love the first time she sees him, but obviously they cannot date yet because of the obviously royalty and obviously bodyguard. You can't really do that. I don't think I remember a plot twist at the end. I think they get married, I'm not really sure, but they do end up together at the end, I'm sure of that. But with these twisted books and twisted series, all the characters through the other books are all linked to, like, are all in the same book. So for example, like Alex and Ava, they're in this book as well, and in the Twisted Hate, two couples, and they're also linked in here and in the first one as well, so it's all linked and it's nice in order. Rate this maybe a 2. I know people's opinions are different, but obviously this is mine. A 2. It just wasn't as good as the first one. I think it's too much. Obviously it was thicker, so there was more things into depth, but it just wasn't my sort of tea. Okay, now getting on to my favourite book. As you can see, it is fully annotated. That just shows how much I actually liked it. Shout to me. There is a lot to this series. There's about, I think there's around 9 books, or even more with novellas as well. Oh, I loved it so much. So this is about a 16-year-old girl who is kept in a cell. She's been there for 264 days and she has never experienced the outside world. She'd never seen anyone, she'd never spoken to anyone. She was kept in that cell for 264 days with no contact at all. So Juliet has a power where if she touches anything, she could instantly kill anyone. So back, like, I don't know when this was, when she was younger, she was trying to help a little boy from falling off the edge of something, and obviously she helped him and he died straight away. And obviously she's got a lot of trauma from that, and then she was put in a cell with a new person, which was obviously Adam, and Adam was her childhood best friend, who she hardly remembers at the time until obviously he tells her about it, but she still doesn't remember as much. And then there is Warner. So you're telling me she can touch him, but he didn't know that at all. I was so shocked when she could touch him. Why? I don't know. I'm only on the second book right now. I haven't really read this into depth. I've got other books I'm reading, so I was like, really shocked about that. But I was actually happy she got into the other asylum with Adam. But then obviously they're just a bit fishy to me. I don't know why, but something's a bit weird to me. And there's obviously other people who have their other powers, which obviously can help her as well. I rate this a 4 out of 5. This was a really good book. I really enjoyed it. It's a quick read as well. It was literally about 300-400 pages. Okay, so Ignite Me. I finished the Destroy Me. Obviously you're going to read the second part of the novelle, Fracture Me, once you've read half the second book, which I haven't yet. This was actually kind of annoying at the start. Like how it was all about Warner, I did not like. Just was his POV of her leaving, which I was not really interested in. But I just tried to push myself through the book because I thought, you know what, I need to read the novelle, I'm not just going to waste it. So I read through it, it was fine. Good way of getting extra information. Obviously if you're enjoying the book, you get a bit more into the depth of the books. I would rate this novelle a 3 out of 5. I felt like it didn't really give me that much information, and it was only about one person. I didn't really enjoy that so much. Icebreaker. This has got to be this. I think this was like one of my favourite books of the year as well. I can't really remember much, but I do remember enjoying it. It's about a girl called Anastasia Allen, and she is inspired to be like an Olympic for skating. And she's forced, well obviously a partner that she's with gets injured, and then she's forced to share the hockey ring with the hockey players, and she's obviously the skaters. And then she's also forced to be partnered up with one of the captains of the hockey players, and obviously I think she might be the leader of the skate, and I'm not really sure, I can't really remember. But she's forced to be partners with them because obviously she's got a comp coming up, and there's instant attraction, let's just say that. And then obviously she develops feelings for Nathan, and it goes on from there. This was a really good book because it was just like, it was cozy, it had a bit of like drama, had relationships, and it was a really good book. It's a 4 out of 5. This was a really good book, and I could reread it again, but I feel like it was just something that it's a bit too long to read. Like there's other stuff, and I'm kind of into my fantasy right now. This is obviously a romance book, and I'm kind of leaning towards fantasy a lot more than romance books. Okay, so I haven't got this book with me right now because obviously someone is lending it, but I will put it on the screen right here. So Never by Colin Hoover. I think this had got to be like one of my favourite books as well. It was amazing. So it's obviously about two lovers who suddenly become strangers. How? I don't know, but it was so intriguing. The blurb was amazing. I was like, I've got to read this. So I read it, picked it up, and I fell in love with it straight away. I thought it was a really good book. But my sister, she said she didn't really enjoy it, but I loved it. Like I think that was like one of my best books of romance. So she's trying to figure out why and how this happened. I don't really know why. It might have been like a time capsule, I really don't know. It didn't really tell us at the end. And then Charlie and Silas must work together to uncover what they are missing in their memory and stuff like that. So they obviously pick it up over time. So Silas and Charlie have been they have been best friends since they were 14. And they have always had some sort of love for each other. Their memories had vanished. I couldn't tell you why, but it was really confusing because it kept going over again. Like they would remember everything and then they would forget again, and it would be another story about it, and they'd all have to get it all again, and it was really boring me at that part. But towards the end, it was actually starting to get better. The more that you learn about these characters, the more you wonder why they weren't together when they were 14. Like, it's so weird. But they should have been together when they was 14. I don't know why, but they just didn't. With me, my opinion, Colin Hoover's books are really like the same. So I've gone off a bit like Colin Hoover, like It Ends With Us, stuff like that. I feel like her wording is the same through every book, and I've just gone off that, like, that author. But at the time I did really enjoy that book, and I feel like it is worth reading. I would rate that a 4 out of 5. I felt like that was a really good book, and it was a bit confusing, but it was also something you're more intrigued about and you want to read more onto it. Okay, so another book by Colin Hoover, I'll put it up here, was Too Late. This is more of a book if you're into, I don't know how to say it, like toxic relationships, let's just say. So there's a girl called Salone, and she wants to break away from this toxic relationship with her boyfriend, but it's really hard for her not to, because obviously he's a drug trader and he's abusive to her, and she's in a nasty relationship. Each day he becomes even worse, so obviously she wants to get out of that relationship. That's when Carter comes along. So Carter is a undercover DEA agent, and he enters the picture, and there is a natural straightaway attraction with Salone and Carter. But if Asa finds out, he will kill Carter straight away. Like, he's that type of like man who's gonna like kill someone for this relationship. No one has ever got in the way with their two relationship. Like, even Asia's best friends, they know straight away how he's like, but they don't know to this, like, her part in the story. Like, they don't really listen to that. So no one gets in the way except Carter. Which it sounds amazing on the blurb. It was an amazing book. It was very intense, because obviously there was a bit of like intense scenes, which was really strong to read. Towards the end, they do get together, Carter and Salone, and they have a child together, I'm pretty sure. A happy ending at the end, which I'm really thankful for, because she deserves that. 3 out of 5, because I feel like it was really hard to read. It was a very strong story with Colin Hoover, obviously how she wrote it, and I just felt like it was an okay book, but it was really good. It was intriguing to read. And the last and final book is It Ends With Us by Colin Hoover again. This book it's got to be like a 4 out of 5. I did enjoy it. I watched the movie that came out in the cinemas I think it was 4 months ago, and the movie was really good, but obviously they missed out parts in the book. This was a very hard reading story as well to read, because obviously there is a bit of abuse. It's her point of the story. It is really upsetting as well. Towards the end I just burst out crying. It was worth reading. I feel like it was a very good book by Colin Hoover, but obviously I feel like my favourite one's got to be Never Never. Like, that you can literally not beat that by Colin Hoover. That was like one of my favourite ones. I have read Ugly Love. I read it and I had to I couldn't read it again. Like, it was something where you would get like 40 pages in and you just got bored and had to shut it, because it was just not a story I really liked. This book was a good book, but I feel like it was just a bit too hard to read again, like the same as Too Late. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoyed listening to me rant about the books I read last year and my favourite books, and I hope you have been inspired to read a lot more and read different books and different genres. And I hope you've enjoyed it. Like, obviously if you want to see more videos like this, comment down below. I don't know if they'll be on, they probably will. But if you haven't already, watch my recent video I posted about my Christmas haul, what I got for 2024, and obviously it's 2025 now. Yeah, so I hope you enjoyed this video.